Hi, this is RX-78-2, a show where I take a look at some Gunpla option parts and see how much options do they offer you. This time we are looking at the V2 weapons. V2 weapons is kind of a second part of the Venus Armour and Venus Gundam that we had previously looked at, but it is being sold separately, mostly so that people can use it independent of V2 Gundam for good reasons, as we will show later on. I will still give it a saga ranking in the end, but the option parts themselves really leans into the kit bashing aspect of Gunpla. So most of this video would be me demonstrating what you can do with this set. As you can see, I got them mostly built, except I'm not attaching everything on. You got a few core components here. First is this universal backpack or attachment block. It have the standard dual pick system on both sides, pretty much to accommodate different styles Gunpla's back when you replace that backpack. You can also see there's two holes on top that is the same 3mm and same distance apart, where you can actually stack more of these on top of each other. Second part is the main, I would say, main attachment part, mostly designed for the V2 Gundam or core Gundam, but you can use it to attach other things, depending on adapters and other things in the series. As you can see, they both have this rectangular peg for the back of the core Gundam's backpack. You will also notice there's two pegs here. It does peg, it is the same distance as these two pegs on the universal joint, but they're kind of short. You do need something to extend it if you want to combine these two. The third one is this wing. Again, the same two pegs for the somewhat standard system for HE these days, and then it got its own sockets so that you can attach more backpack onto it. For example, we can put the universal one here. You also get 3mm pegs that you can attach things like the thrusters here. They have a 3mm sockets. The thrusters are pretty well sculpted despite being simple in parts. You can see the vents inside, and then there are detailing all around. More vents at the back. They are basically omnidirectional or bidirectional, like there's no front and back. And then we have a missile port here. Once again, it is pretty much omnidirectional. You can actually drop it down lower if you don't like it, sticking up so far up. And it have a pick on both sides, so you can attach it to whichever way you want. But since we do have the beam cannon on one side, so we'll put this one on this side. Probably going to use the higher position to clear the wings, but yeah, if you are not worrying about the wings, you can definitely have it the other way around. And then we have the beam cannon. Again, pegs on both sides, so you can use it on left and right. And And Bandai do provide us with the optic stickers this time. So you don't have to customize or paint it yourself. That is pretty nice. Otherwise, the beam cannon is pretty well sculpted like everything else. And it is a simple sandwich clamshell construction. Can't really focus on the barrel here, but yeah, it is. I painted it black, it got a bit of reflection. So it's not a super deep barrel, but you can customize it if you want to. Looks fine otherwise though. So we are going to attach the beam cannon on the universal. Veetwo weapons also have a small buckler. It is designed to cover up the extra option hole, attachment hole on the beam rifle. You can also put it on the missile port if you wish so, but you can also stick it on your mobile suit, although it is kinda one-sided, so take a look at that. But yeah, otherwise make the beam cannon look more heavy duty than it otherwise would have. So we built this universal backpack that can be fit on most Gunpla with the 2-pack system, which I have the RX-78-2 Earth color here to demonstrate. I took out its original backpack and I'm going to attach this Veetwo one on it. And you wonder why RX-78 persists for so many years. With just a simple backpack change, you pretty much have a whole new Gundam. You can also take out the wings if you think they don't, that's not what you're looking for. And yeah, you got RX-78 with some long-range weapon on the backpack. The extension for the core beam spray gun can be held independently as well. There is what would have been a side grip, can be used as the main grip, and the stock can be an underarm stock that any HG standard hand can hold on to. This is why this optional part set is sold separately, as you can easily kit bash with most newer Gunpla at the time, pretty much standard Gunpla these days, most Gunpla I say. We do have a few oddballs in the G-Quack line, but otherwise you can use this set on most Gunpla that you can buy today. HG of course, RG maybe, EG definitely too. EG uses the same backpack system and have the same hand size. This is part 1 of this set, why this is sold separately. Let's get to part 2. Build up the backpack for Veetwo to use. Actually, in this Veetwo mode, you can attach it to Gundam as well. A bit awkward, as you can see, but yeah, it totally works. Have a completely different look to it. We can probably play around a little bit. So this is Veetwo Gundam mode, and RX-78 can just use it as normal. Again, speaking of the malleableness, let's go with malleableness of RX-78-2 or RX-78 by itself. I think G1 will look better here. So let's continue to attach this to Veetwo. We are not going to use the Earth-3 backpack as the base, but we are going to keep the core Gundam's backpack. And then square peg on square socket. So the beam sabers are on the underside, and then we got the thrusters on the side. The beam cannon and the missile launcher are comfortably raised above Veetwo Gundam's head, and let's give ourselves some room to build Veetwo's beam cannon. And yeah, a giant beam launcher for Veetwo. This is firepower. Okay, this thing is really huge. I think the only way... Nope, this wouldn't work. I guess we need to... Yep, somewhat a awkward angle, to be honest. But, yep. Yeah, there we go. With all the extra joints on Core Gundam, you can hold it with both hands. You don't really need both hands to hold it stably, despite being a massive weapon. The core beam spray gun do lock on to Veetwo's hand pretty comfortably. So yeah, this is Veetwo Gundam with all the weapons that it's supposed to have. Thrusters can turn, they're on a 3mm peg. The beam cannon and the missile pods can move as we have been doing. And yeah, you got an extra universal block in the set. The Earth-free backpack adapter is slightly less useful, but you can probably find some creative use for it. The shield, you don't have to hold the gun in both hands. You can still hold the shield if you want to, but yeah. With the beam launcher now included, and the beam cannon and the missile launcher at the back, Veetwo Gundam now really looks like something with a lot of firepower. So for the SAGA rating, style, despite being just a single color, because they are mostly weapons, I think that is fine. So, and quite good scopes all around. You can probably see a bit of marbling in the casting, but that is the price of straight build. Otherwise, it is good style. Easy A. Not quite S because it is, single color for the whole thing. Action with 3mm pegs all around. You can definitely get quite a bit of action out of, just a backpack. And yeah, no complaints there on action. That's an easy A. Gimmick, you can swap the beam cannon and missile launchers around. You can even attach them to the wing if you really want to. Put the thrusters on the back to change how you want the Veetwo weapons operate. And the beam launcher works with or without the beam spray gun is definitely nice. So I will give it S for gimmick, and for absence, I think it is good that this set is so separately independent of the Veetwo armor, as I would definitely be asking for it for my other builds. So as for absence, as it definitely feel other Gunpla's absence with its own, not being included with other things. So yeah, this is the Veetwo weapons and the complete Veetwo Gundam. My SAGA score on the Veetwo armor and core Gundam itself is pretty decent, but this set is definitely completed or only completed with the Veetwo weapon set. The Veetwo weapon set can definitely operate independent of Veetwo Gundam, but it does place nicely with the Veetwo armor itself. Thanks for watching. See you next time.